It's the pop culture field manual.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. It's good to be back.
It's always good to be back.
I'm Israel Wright, and with me, as always, is
Cameron Fath,
and we
Ranger Extraordinaire.
And I'm a Green Beret Ordinaire. Just an ordinary Green Beret.
That's fine.
Well, of which there are none, because if you're a Green Beret, you're extraordinary.
Yes, you are.
Actually, you're more than ordinary. That's what extraordinary actually means. You're ordinary, but like more than that. You're like super ordinary.
Thanks for breaking that down. That's great, because you always hear extraordinary.
Yeah, and they think it's like a good thing. Like, no,
extraordinary.
It's extraordinary, you guys.
Okay, anyways, we need to fucking keep it going. Damn.
Folks, we've been having a good time. We hope you enjoyed the previous episodes. We got more coming out all the time, every second of the day. But today...
More specifically, every Wednesday.
Yeah,
but
more specifically, every Wednesday.
Today.
But today, we are going to go through Cameron and I's favorite movie portrayals of our respective units. So I have a short list of some of my favorite portrayals of the Green Berets, and you have a short list of some of your favorite portrayals of the Rangers.
Absolutely, man. And it's funny because, I mean, I'm sure when you were sitting pretty in your ODA, you had Special Forces movies on just repeat.
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
Just pumping ourselves up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we did the same thing. Deployments, we were watching every Ranger movie that ever came out, and we would just critique it, but it would... All the zingers, you would say, all the camaraderie, communication between each other, it was all movie quotes from military portrayals of our unit.
Yeah, it's art imitating life, imitating art, back and forth. You know, it becomes a part of your lingo. You know, I was actually surprised, like when I was doing research, trying to put my list together. I initially thought, well, there's like one or two movies where they're Green Berets, but no, there's a lot of like references to characters being Green Berets, like Michael Knight from the Knight Rider TV show from the 80s. He's supposed to be an ex-Green Beret.
Really?
I didn't know. I'm like, really? It never comes up, but it's like, I think that's because it's like early 80s, so it's just after like Vietnam era, and so it's like kind of in the pop in the culture then of like, that's kind of where Green Berets kind of really came into their own, was the Vietnam era. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like Principal Skinner from The Simpsons is supposed to be an ex-Green Beret.
What?
So anyway, it's funny.
That's crazy, man. The Principal Skinner was a Green Beret. I'm surprised he wasn't just schwacking those kids.
I could see he is a very stern individual, very resourcell. So
obvious Green Beret. Yeah.
So Cameron, why don't we get started, man? Why don't you go first? Give us your first a positive or a fun portrayal, or I don't know, bad portrayal. Whatever,
no, man, there are no bad portrayals of Rangers.
If they're a Ranger, they're amazing.
They're amazing, and I'm not biased at all. But the first one I have jotted down here is a no-brainer. I got Black Hawk Down.
Right on.
So,
classic.
Classic, right? Everybody who's ever joined the military, everybody who wants to join the military has seen Black Hawk Down.
I literally saw Black Hawk Down the first night at Reception Battalion at Fort Benning.
Really?
Like, you guys want to watch a movie? Because we weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to watch Black Hawk Down. We're like, yeah!
No, Black Hawk Down is an awesome movie. And it's just because it's based off history, right? Operation Gothic Serpent, 1993, right? You got 160th SOAR, you have 3 Bravo from 375, and then you have your Delta Boys, right?
Yeah.
First Special Forces Detachment, Delta, right?
And they were meant to go in to actually get somebody, to get some high-value targets, but it kind of went sideways when one of the Blackhawks gets shot down.
Yeah, it turned into a rescue mission for 2 Blackhawks went down, and, you know, unfortunately, we took some casualties, but, I mean, that is as real as it gets as far as that portrayal. And the movie does it justice. I mean...
Think so?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, it does have elements of, like, being in the shit. I mean, body parts exploding, you know, some dude picking up an amputated arm.
Trauma,
Yeah, it was all there. And I mean, like, the dudes you hear that went through it, they said that, they were like, this was shit, man. So, I mean, that movie's amazing. The only thing is, like, for some reason, the portrayal of Rangers in there, it's like your main squad leader who's like he brings in these new privates and he's like, hey, man, you're going to be okay. But, like, in real life, that squad leader would have been a raging asshole. Like, those new guys coming in would have, especially for a solid deployment, like, you just show up and they're like, hey, you're going here. And the squad leader's like, here's your bunk, man. Yeah, we're going to be okay. Here, pats on the back. No, his shit would have got pushed in. And that was literally, that's just the culture of the regiment now.
Right.
But, one cool thing about that movie is actually before they started filming, all the actors that were playing Rangers actually went through a boot camp that was led by Rangers.
Right on.
So they got a little bit of exposure to the culture, and like, I mean, they got to see how the military runs, especially in the Ranger Regiment. So I think that really helped out when it came to their, you know, characters' portrayals of, you know, Rangers and whatnot. And I mean, those Delta boys, man, they're a bunch of cowboys.
You're gonna need my Rangers when you get on 10-yard line.
Yeah, you're gonna need my Rangers. I mean, every element about that movie is awesome. I mean, we were listening to Faith No More every pre-mission just because of that movie. It's like, see, that guy's got his blood type on his boots. It's bad juju, man. Like,
awesome,
it's a
man.
classic. So I had to throw that on the list, just because, you know, I think it's a good staple for how, you know, the portrayal of Rangers are.
Yeah.
What's your first one, man? I'm curious.
First one on my list is it's a classic, and I don't know, it's a fun one, but it's actually First Blood. It's Rambo. It's the first Rambo movie.
Rambo!
But it was just called First Blood.
Yeah.
Right? And it was actually based off a novel. I didn't know this. There's a
Really?
bit of commentary about like treatment of soldiers coming back from Vietnam and
Yeah,
stuff like
it's
that.
terrible.
Like Cartoon. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone, you know, he's a Green Beret. He comes back in. I think it's like in Oregon or something like that.
It's somewhere in the P and W.
Yeah, he's looking for his former teammates, and he finds out that they're not around. The one that he thought was alive is no longer alive, and so he's just kind of going through town. And then the sheriff gives him a hard time, and they try to arrest him. And then when they try to give him that shave, man, he freaks out and he goes commando, you know. And
Yeah.
I like it because there's actually things that, like, in my training that I went through, that I can see the parallels, like, you know, like, you know, when he's out doing the survival stuff, like the resourcefulness, right?
Yeah.
The working with what you have and creating, you know, like, you know, we did the training, so there was no need for it when I went to Iraq, obviously, but the resourcefulness training, you know, creating weapons, creating, doing things on the fly and making the the most of what you have. And that kind of endurance, that will to survive, you know, it's very well portrayed. I think he's, you know, it's a little bit Hollywood, but I don't know, man. I like when he gets all like camouflage and he's like jumping around, like pulling guys into the bushes and like, whooah, you know.
Yeah, or he uses the black powder to blow the fucking place.
Yeah.
He stacks all the ammo. You can't do that. Mythbusters proved it. But
it's true.
It's still a cool. He uses the M60 to ignite the gunpowder.
Yeah, the
by
one
shooting
arm
it.
M60.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not quite. You know, I never did one arm M60 training.
Yeah.
But he's definitely an inspirational. Definitely a positive portrayal of a fun. And I think ultimately positive portrayal of a Green Beret, just the kind of mystique. I mean, I think one of the best parts of the whole movie is when Major Troutman comes in and he's like talking about how awesome and amazing being a Green Beret is, and like, you know, like there's one quote I got here. He's the sheriff's like, "Are you telling me that 200 of our men going against a boy, 200 of our men going against your boys, a no-win situation for us?" And Troutman's like, "Well, you send that many. Don't forget one thing." And he's like, "What?" "A good supply of body bags."
Yeah,
That's
dude.
so cheesy, man. But it's so, he says it with such conviction, you know. He's got another one. He's like, "In Vietnam, you can bet that Rambo got pretty confused, but we had orders: when in doubt, kill."
Yeah.
Now that's not accurate. That is not our orders when we go over there.
Depends who you're asking.
There's a lot of like relationship building and guerrilla warfare and, you know, foreign internal defense and training the trainers and stuff like that. We did do some of that training, but I don't know.
And when they didn't want to train, we killed them.
Yeah, we just kill everybody. That was kind of the default answer to everything. "You don't have my coffee ready? Kill."
Killed. You're dead.
But anyway, that's my first one. I think it's in the annals of military portrayals in pop culture. I'm glad that First Blood exists.
Yeah, man.
I don't know about
that's
all the
great.
other ones, but the first one's pretty.
That's good. I like that one, man. So, for my second pick, I put, and I think it was obvious, but Saving Private Ryan. So,
Oh yeah,
dude,
man. That was the Rangers.
Yeah, dude. Opening
Tom Hanks
scene,
and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff?
that entire Vin Diesel. Yeah, that
yeah,
entire.
Vin Diesel, oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. Go rewatch it, and just in the opening scene, you'll see the two diamonds on all their helmets, and when they're coming in, and it's you know, that opening scene was so intense. It was such a good scene. I mean, coming in,
Iconic.
iconic scene. I mean, I have so much respect for World War II veterans, especially the ones that were part of D-Day, because that, in my opinion, was the greatest generation. We've talked about this in the last episode, because that patriotism and willing to fight and go crush Nazi skulls because, you know, of the wrongdoings they were putting out on the rest of the world. That's what I was fucking talking about, man. But that scene was so well done. Steven Spielberg did an amazing job, and I think Tom Hanks also did an amazing job playing that.
Yeah, they got Dale. Big military consultant Dale Dye, actor and also military consultant. That was kind of he got a lot of notoriety for that stuff, doing his consulting from back in the day, kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah, and they did. I just can't go over that opening scene. I mean, the entire movie's great.
Yeah.
But the plot of the story is based off a true story.
Really?
But yeah, so to an extent. So the names have obviously been changed, but you have 4 brothers, 3 of them die during D-Day, and they have to go take the 4th, go rescue the 4th who is behind enemy lines, who jumped in with the 101st. That's the plot of the movie, but there's a lot of real aspects of it. And I when I was Googling it, they're like, oh, it's real to an extent, but I mean, as far as the brothers, that was a true thing. Wow. So I think that was super awesome. And I was really curious just because, so during the D-Day assault, you had 2nd Ranger Battalion and 5th Ranger Battalion, and I'm pretty sure that 5th Ranger Battalion took the beach and 2nd did Point du Hoc. So I was a little confused when I saw them taking the beach as 2nd Ranger Battalion, and so I was like, "Is this a fallacy?
Is this a bit of a flub?"
Yeah, I was like, "It's a flub." But I mean, as far as like them doing the same tactics, like they're like, "Oh, enfilading fire, getting that defilade,
Bangalore,
yeah, Bangalore." Like it was awesome, and I mean, it was a super good representation of just like how people look up to the Ranger Regiment, because all of them were like, what do we do? You're in charge now, sir. And he's like, all right, well, let's fucking do this. And the Rangers took over, handled fucking business, and just, you know, took that beach. And that was great. So awesome. Saving Private Ryan is one of my all-time favorite movies. I watch it yearly. And and those actors went through a 10-day boot camp as well.
I remember hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were exposed to it just like the guys from Black Hawk Down, and, yeah, man, Saving Private Ryan.
That's awesome.
Love that movie.
Iconic. You know, it's a classic movie. Instant classic.
Yeah.
All right, man. My next movie is, again, I'm kind of going for, like, down the line, like, this is a movie about Green Berets, but it came out recently, 12 Strong.
12 Strong.
It was about the kind of, right after 9/11, you know, they decide they're going to go into Afghanistan, fight the Taliban and stuff, and it's Green Berets. It's Chris Hemsworth, you know, and his team. The initial kind of, I think they were 5th group guys. The initial push to go into Afghanistan and take out the Taliban, and you know, and it's you know, actual Green Beret history, which is great. And I think it's a solid film, you know, and I think everybody does a really good job. It's relationship building, you know. They get with the local, they get the Northern Alliance guys, and they have to build relationships. They have to build trust between them, and I think they did a pretty good job of portraying that in the movie. Did. Yeah, they did a good job of. You know, just like the camaraderie, the brotherhood, and the real life stories of the guys who were in that kind of group. You know, it's funny. I think I'm gonna see them. You get me in the comments section, folks. Robin Moore, he wrote the original book about the Green Berets. You know, which I think they based the John Wayne movie off of the Green Berets. But he wrote another book about the Green Berets in Afghanistan. He embedded with a team, I think, if this is the one I'm remembering accurately. And one of my instructors in the Q course was one of the guys who was on that team with which, you know, Robin Moore embedded.
Really?
You look at the book that Robin Moore wrote, you look on the back and he's like with the team, and one of my instructors was one of the guys.
That's awesome, man.
So that's good. Cool. Good. I don't think it got a lot of play. I don't think it like made gangbusters at the box office, but I'm glad it exists because it's like solid Green Beret military history. You know? That's
great. And it's funny you bring up that story that your instructor was, you know, part of that, because I also had a Ranger instructor, or when I was going through RASP, I won't say any names, but we called him Murder P because he was, do you know Nicholas Irving?
Nicholas, why does that name sound familiar?
The Reaper. He put out the book, The Reaper, his famous Ranger sniper. So,
okay, sniper,
Yeah, so that he was one of my RASP cadres, and he was Nicholas Irving's spotter. And he's in the book, and he tells him a crazy story about he falls like 40 feet into a well, and like he has to basically stay treading water for like 3 hours until he was rescued by the PJs. Like, dude's an absolute unit.
Wow.
And like, he was one of my RAS cadre. And you know how intimidating that is to hear like these stories and me going through it, and you're like, that's what I'm getting myself fucking into.
You know, it's funny because I think a lot of the guys that were my instructors, they, you know, you have to rotate out of your team and do like a year or two.
Yeah, you got to do training time.
Training time, yeah.
Same thing with RASP.
Yeah, and so that was a lot of those guys were the ones that were in the initial invasion of Afghanistan and all that kind of stuff. So, 3 interesting pieces of trivia. I'm going to put them out in list order. One, I got to audition for 12 Strong.
Nice.
When the producer used to go to my gym, he's like, "Do you want? You're a Green Beret. Do you want to like? Yeah,
It makes sense.
Obviously, I didn't get in.
Yeah,
but
otherwise we wouldn't be here. People.
Yeah, all right. We'd be sitting around.
We'd all be
my
sitting in his-
mansion, living off my fat 12 Strong cash.
Exactly. It's somewhere in Cabo.
Yeah, that's right. But I do know 2 people that are in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, Nate Boyer, who's a former Green Beret, and he's kind of known in like the football kind of world. He was at Texas A&M, you know, as a place kicker, and he is in the helicopter in the initial infill. He's one of the pilots, you know, telling him about like you're not gonna be able to breathe because there's no oxygen up there. We
because
can't
they're
feed it to you.
super high up.
Yeah, it's Nate Boyer. He's a good guy. We trained together in the Q course, and then he's been in a couple other things. But and then Lauren Myers, she plays Michael Pena's wife. So before he deploys, she's talking to him about, you know, you better come back, and stuff like that. So
Better come back on your sheet.
that's right. Yeah, with your shield or upon it. But anyway, she's great, and we're actually in a movie together, if you can find it, called Missing You. Really obscure indie film. I challenge anyone to find it and then find a copy and actually burn it because it's not a very. She's the best part of that movie. She's a great actress and a really cool person, but that movie is not.
Are you playing like hot dog vendor number 3?
Oh no, I'm the lead.
Oh, you're the lead.
Yeah, I starred in this movie.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
2010.
great. Please find it and send
New
it to
Mexico.
PCFMpodcast@gmail.com so I can watch it and
not-
burn this guy
Do
alive.
not watch it. I will give you the copy that I have.
Really?
In my
I'm
hope
gonna-
chest. Yeah.
Okay, I have to
All
watch
right.
this now.
Can we go with your
All
next
right,
one?
I actually just watched this one in preparation because I've seen it and I had to watch it again just because it's another historical like just representation of how awesome Rangers are because we're fucking awesome. The Great Raid, right?
Yes.
So 6th Ranger Battalion, the biggest POW rescue in American history.
World War II.
Yep, World War II.
There was the Philippines.
Yes.
There was the Bataan Death March where they
Bataan
force marched
Death
a bunch of POWs from one camp to another. A lot of them died along the way.
Yeah.
That's a famous incident. But what's even more awesome is the rescue mission.
Yeah, that had to go with that. So, interesting fact about the Bataan Death March was it was 65 miles. Can you imagine walking 65 miles?
You're malnourished. You're
yeah,
a
you're
prisoner of war.
Yeah,
if dudes fell out, they actually
they
just
died.
they shot them.
They just
they
died.
left them off. Yeah.
So, and I know annually in commemoration of that event, they do a 20. What's a marathon? 26.2. Right?
Yeah, 26.2
mile ruck in commemoration of the Bataan Death
wanna
March.
do that. That
I'm
sounds-
actually planning on doing it in the next year. I'm gonna put together a team
wanna
on
do
my
it.
National Guard, and
wanna
we're
do it.
gonna do it
Okay,
because
I'm
I
gonna
know regiment supplies a team, a lot of unit supply a team,
Okay.
just because they try to crush it.
I'll go unaffiliated. I'll do
Okay,
other
yeah,
stuff.
but it's definitely on my bucket list to do that, just because not only is it a great dedication to those people and the guys that lost their life, but it's also a hell of a fucking workout.
Yeah.
So that's on my bucket list there. But so just the history behind the Great Raid is you had 6th Ranger Battalion, and it's looking at the history of it. These guys were a artillery battalion before they became Rangers.
What?
So yeah, apparently, correct me if I'm wrong here, but they saw that Darby. So Darby is basically like one of the
Birth of the Rangers.
yeah, Birth of the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Darby's Rangers.
Yep.
And he had a Ranger force that was crushing ass in World War II. And I guess the commander of the Filipino push was, at least the Pacific push was like, we need a Ranger battalion. So that's when they converted the 98th Field Artillery Division into the 6th Ranger Battalion. And it's crazy because they put Lieutenant Colonel Mucci in charge of it, and he was just like, if you're married, get the fuck out of here.
Really?
If you're, if you don't want to be here, you're switching to another unit, because these guys really didn't see combat until this raid. This
No
was like
way.
their first military, like hardcore
Ooh.
operation. So they went through. They called them the most trained Ranger regiment because they didn't see combat. That was like their first actual operation. So that is absolute crazy, and I think it definitely shows how hard Rangers train. Excuse me.
Puberty just now.
Puberty just hit me right now. But as far as how Rangers train and how, their training really transfers over to real life. You train how you fight, right? And these guys are a perfect example of that. So James Franco plays Captain Prince, and Benjamin Bratt plays Moochie, and he does such a good job.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, the movie's great. I've it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but I remember listening to the audio book, the audio version of the book, and that's amazing too, because you realize that how many different pieces were in play in order to make this operation happen. They had to gather intel. They had intel assets that kind of fed them
Yeah, they worked with the Filipino rebels.
Yeah.
They did the raid with the rebels, which I think was super cool. Definitely a special forces type
aspect.
of mission.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. But I mean, the movie's not all about the raid. There's a whole storyline about how like the POWs are a big component of it, just their life in the camps. And then they have, this lady who's bringing in medicine and her struggle with trying to get caught by the Japanese. And all right, man, I'm done talking about this.
All right. My last one for this list is, it's funny, I mentioned it already, but it's the John Wayne movie, The Green Berets from 1968, based on the Robin Moore movie. It's kind of like a love letter to the Green Berets, because it starts at Fort Bragg, which I actually think they filmed it in Fort Benning, but it's like supposed to be Fort Bragg, and they're talking about the different weapons types, and there's like a cocky news reporter guy that's like kind of giving them shit, throwing shade their way, and they're like, well, you better you look at this weapon, and this is the people that we're up against and stuff. So it's very, very pro military, very pro special forces. I
mean, it's back in the day.
It's back in the day, yeah, and it's John Wayne, so it's very, it's very all American kind of thing. But it's great because it shows again like all the different aspects of the things that you train for as a Green Beret. So they're training with the Montagnards, which were the native peoples of Vietnam that they partnered with. So they built relationships with them, and they had to live with them, and so build that trust so that they could conduct raids into Vietnam against the Viet Cong and stuff. And, the resourcefulness of trying to gather materials for building their base up and getting ready for this mission. They have to go and they're going to kidnap this general out of his mansion or whatever in the jungle. And, so little stuff like that. Cause I remember you had to be like in Iraq when we were there, we had to get stuff done. We had to get vehicles repaired. We had to get, we had to talk to people, in our base, just on our own little base, not even out in the world, And you call making crack deals, that with a little thing, I'll give you this, you give me that, and then we'll get it done.
Bartering.
Yeah, we're bartering, yeah. And of course it's got the classic song, The Ballad of the Green Beret, which is like the Green Beret theme song. Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret.
Trust me, I know that song. You got all the fucking 18 X-ray washouts go through RAS because they're like, we're not going to the 82nd, man. Give me a RAS contract.
Give me something special. I need it.
Shout out to those guys. They ended up being solid Rangers.
Good. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
Different mission sets, man. Different mission sets.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, it is. But the classic. You got the classic Fulton recovery system where they finally get the guy, the general, and they bundle him up, and they got the balloon that they raise up, and then the plane comes by and grabs him, as seen in, of course, our favorite game, Metal Gear Solid
Metal
V.
Gear Solid,
The Phantom Pain, but which they use like every 20 seconds.
And
it's
in
like
Batman.
And in Batman. Yeah,
I love that
that
scene,
and Batman.
That's
Fulton
cool.
recovery. So that's it for me, man. That's my list. You got anything else? Or we?
I think I've done it, but I definitely do have an honorable mention that I just came up with.
Okay,
which isn't
right.
really a portrayal of Rangers. It was originally supposed to, this is why it's an honorable mention, but Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they played Marine Force Recon.
That's Clint Eastwood, right?
Clint Eastwood,
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Clint Eastwood, he takes over a Marine Recon, and that's when he gets in there, and the guy's like, Recon Platoon kicks butt. Yeah, but so at the end, once they become like this great unit, and they're like, finally crushing ass, they go and they do the rescue mission, either in Panama or Grenada, and that is all based off Ranger history. So that was actually a Ranger mission, where the True Blue Medical Campus, where they rescued those. I think it was Grenada. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 80s kind of era.
So that was actually, Ranger. That was actually Battalion's baby, but they made it into Marines for this movie for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's why it's a great movie. I love that movie.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. That'd be a good one to go back and
absolutely,
go back
man. It's a great movie. But anyways, I think it's time for us to transition to our little game.
Yes, we play. I like to play a game.
Yeah, let's play a game.
This one's called. So we're gonna throw some one-liners at each other.
Yeah, movie one-liners.
Movie one-liners, and actually not just movie one-liners. I kind of made my own list. I tried to pick something that in the realm of what I think you would probably know.
It's little to none.
We don't want to have another. We don't want to have another Peter Thomas lightning round. We don't want to take forever.
No offense, Peter.
Yeah, no offense. We love you,
That
Peter.
sucked. No, I'm kidding.
But so I'll throw you a line, and then you got to decide what pop culture. Could be a video game, could be a movie, could be a TV show.
Okay.
But, so I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first, man, because I know I got my list, and we're doing 4 of these bad boys, right? Each?
Yeah, I think I got 4. Yeah,
I got 4. Okay, this should be
all right.
fun.
First one should be easy.
Okay.
It's not one of the most well-known lines from the movie. It's from a movie, and it's character talking to the main character.
I would hope so.
And he's saying, "War educates the senses, calls into action the will, perfects the physical constitution, brings men into such swift and close collision at critical moments that man measures man."
Is Black Hawk Down?
Nope.
Oh man, that is a good line. That is such a good line, man.
Oscar award-winning line.
Brought a tear to my eye. I'm assuming it's a war movie.
Yeah.
Can I get an era? Can I get a hint?
It's a World War II era film.
Oh. Is it Saving Private Ryan? No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
it is?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah. Upham, the character Upham is talking to Tom Hanks.
Screw
They're
that
in the
guy,
church.
man.
Yeah, Upham.
Upham's the worst character ever.
For Upham.
He's just sitting there
he's
crumbling.
freaking out as the guy's slowly getting his heart stabbed.
Dude, that dude, I just brain dump whatever that guy says because he's the weakest character ever to be produced, and
he gets a little bit at the end where he catches the German guys leaving.
Oh yeah, and he lets him
and
go.
the guy's like, Upham, hey, we're friends, right? He's like, bam.
Yeah.
So he gets a little bit.
Finally, you grew a fucking pair, dude. Should have done it
after everybody's already dead.
Betty Boop.
Yeah.
Oh, say,
Becky
can
Grable.
you see?
Nice gums.
Oh, say, can you see? I would have been there like, bang, 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 bang.
If only he'd be alive.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, man.
Okay, I got one for you. All right. So,
can you tell me if it's from a movie or not? Or
yeah, so this is from a movie.
Okay.
And it is said from a character to another character.
I hope so.
Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps, and I want my scalps.
That is Inglourious Basterds. Yes, Brad Pitt,
Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
That movie's so classic. That's like I remember it being like at the end when they actually kill Hitler. I'm like, wait, okay, that's kind of awesome. And he did it again with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm like, oh, it's like alternate history. Like, what if this had happened? You know,
the bear Jew.
Yeah, the bear Jew.
Yes.
That's who's that? Eli Roth, the director.
So I honestly, that would be a good honorable mention because the guys in that squad, if you pay really close attention to their unit patches, there's about 3 Rangers in that squad. That's how attention to detail I look. I'm always looking, who's a Ranger here?
Good for you.
And I'm pretty sure the bear Jew was a Ranger.
All right.
Yeah, that's why he had so much aggression.
Good job, Eli.
Good job. All right, man. What do you got for me? How
all right,
can
next
I
one
embarrass
is. All right, this is from a video game.
Okay. See, I didn't know we were doing video
I'll
games.
even try to do the accent.
Okay.
They're open. I repeat, the silo doors are open. We have a nuclear missile launch. Missile in the air. Missile in the air. Code black.
Call of Duty. Modern Warfare.
Which number? Which one?
2.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it, man.
Yeah,
First
man,
try.
the only Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 I played it religiously.
That's
so
Ghost. That's Ghost when the submarine silo launches
when they go
the nuke.
open?
Yeah.
Okay. I got one for
hit
you.
me.
This one's really short. Okay. And this is just a guy screaming.
Okay, I'm going to clear my mind.
We're in business!
Oh, man. Wait. Do it one more time.
We're in business!
Oh, man. This is a military movie?
Yes.
Oh, man. That was so
I'll give
good.
you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
all right,
It's
give
just
me a
like great minds think alike. I mean, as far as me and you.
All right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, man. That my mind is not great at this moment. That when you said it, I got like a thrill, and I felt like I almost had it, but it left me. It left me. We're in business. I want to say Ghostbusters, but that's We Got One.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
It is Saving Bangalore's when they go off and they go open.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, we're in business!
See, I need to start watching that movie every year like you do.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe. I mean, if I couldn't get the movie, obviously I need to watch it some more.
All right, here's another one. I think the accent's going to help. I think you'll get this one. Sergeant, you can't control who gets hit and who doesn't.
Black Hawk Down.
You didn't even let me finish the
Sorry,
quote.
man. Sorry.
That's great.
That's
no,
how
you got it. Who
Doofus.
falls out of a chopper and why? It ain't up to you. It's just war.
It's just war, man.
I love that Eric Bonham, man.
Dude, that's the final when
Hoot.
they come in. That's Hooch, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
scene is great. You know, actually, behind the scene, beat some BTS for that one. He actually wrote that dialogue.
Really?
The actor behind it,
Eric.
They worked together to do that dialogue. They both came up with it.
That's
themselves.
all right, man. That's all right.
Dude, that's a great speech. Yeah, he's like, do it for the guy to the left and right of you.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
about me. Like, what, you just some kind of war junkie?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wouldn't understand.
I don't understand it. That's a great movie, man.
Cool, man.
Sorry I didn't let you finish.
That's all right. I love how you were on it. You got it.
Yeah,
That's
thank
cool.
you, thank you. All right, I think this one will be an easy one, and I'll do the accent too.
All right.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus, just like me.
I would say the other part of the line, but
Yeah.
I have to hold my TOS.
Exactly, it's 2021. We can't be dropping F-bombs.
But that's Predator, man.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Jesse the Mind Ventura.
Just the mind, Ventura. That dude,
Governor of Minnesota.
Yeah,
Keeps coming back. He keeps finding his way back into the podcast.
yeah. He's
I
never
love
gonna
it.
leave. He's such an iconic character, dude. I love that guy. All right, what do you got for me, bro?
All right, this is the last one I got.
Okay.
It's from another video game because
Okay.
I love video games, and I think you'll appreciate it.
I'll close my eyes for this one so I can really focus.
The coal train runs on whole grain, baby. Woo!
Gears of War.
Gears of War, you got it, man.
The coal train.
The coal
The
train.
coal train, baby.
I was trying to come up with something Gears of War, and I watched some highlight videos
Oh,
of
you
his
did?
best lines.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Coal Train, dude. Woo!
He was like what, a former football star?
formal NFL, or I guess like in that universe they had like their own football,
It's like super football.
super football, but I guess more deadly.
Yeah.
yeah, and he was like one of their iconic like players.
Nice,
So
man. That's
yeah, man,
right on.
iconic. Yeah, Coal Train, baby, all the way. All right, thanks for doing that. That was a good one, man.
That was fun.
I'll try to do this one, and I hope you get it.
A lot of accents
Yeah.
today.
My name is Gunnery Sergeant Highway. I've drunk more beer, banged more quiff, pissed more blood, and stomped more ass than all you numbnuts put together.
Man, is that Black Hawk Down?
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
Way later.
way later.
We actually hinted that we brought it up.
Oh, we
in this
did?
podcast, yeah.
Oh man, see my short-term memory. I'm like Guy Pearce from Memento, which I should have gotten. Nobody's gonna get that reference. But
Sorry.
no, say it one more time.
All right, I'll try to do this again. It's kind of hard in my voice, but I'll try for you. My name is Gunnery Sergeant Highway. I've drunk more beer, banged more quiff, pissed more blood, and stomped more ass than all of you numbnuts put together.
Golly, that's a good line, man. That's a good line.
It's iconic. Just imagine I walk in a room and I grab a pool stick and I just snap it in half.
Oh wow. Oh man. Does Amy knows?
Amy, everyone knows.
Secret guest star Amy?
Yeah, Heartbreak Ridge, dude.
Oh, Heartbreak Ridge.
When he comes in, the first introduction to him.
That's a good Clint Eastwood, man.
Yeah, and
Good
he's
for you.
like, recon platoon kicks butt, and he grabs him by the nose. He's like,
That's good, man. That's good. But unfortunately, I haven't seen that movie in
it's been a while.
It's
It's okay,
in 30 years.
That's fine.
It's weird that I can say that.
I win the game.
You win.
Did
you
I win?
Cam.
Did I win the game?
You win the game. You win the game, Cameron. Your prize is to
I get
to
to
talk
drive
us
home.
out. Yeah,
I get to drive home.
you get to leave here.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's all we have for this episode of the PCFM, or the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. We do a new podcast every Wednesday, so mark your calendars, folks. And like we say every single time, go ahead and reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and send an email to pcfmpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at pcfmpodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you guys like dope streetwear, go ahead and check out my clothing brand, Kick God. You can find us on Instagram at Kick God Apparel, or go to our website at www.kickgodapparel.com.
And if you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I stream live on Twitch every Monday and Wednesday from 3 to 8 p.m. Pacific time, and every Friday morning from 7 a.m. until noon. It's twitch.tv/myhappyself.
All right.
I'm
Thanks
a
for
happy
listening. He's happy.
We'll see you soon, folks.
Peace.